Hi, Marlon here of White Noise Studio. Waves has released a new plugin, a spring reverb, very originally named Springs. With the last few releases of Waves being a mixed bag, how useful will this plugin be for you? A spring reverb, like you would know, is a type of electromechanical reverb, best known for its twangy sound. And with springs you get your hands on 7 different spring reverbs, with 3 lengths each. The medium settings for each of these 7 is the original impulse response. The short and long variations are derived from that medium impulse. But first let's listen to the 7 spring reverbs with a snare source. It is set to 100% wet to really hear the differences. We'll do short, medium and long variations for each in that order. Now with the long versions, it sounds to me that the lengthening is done by slapping a plate on the tail of the reverb. Here the next comparison. One is springs on long. The other is springs on medium with a plate reverb. The longer tail is very similar. The controls on springs are pretty limited, which is happening with all Magma plugins. There is a feedback control and a pre-delay. Unfortunately, the pre-delay isn't syncable to the tempo of the project. The spring reverb can be switched between mono and stereo. Mono is the classic use case for most spring reverbs.
All the good stuff comes for free. And fuckery. Just want you here next to me.
To fit these spring reverb frequencies more in the mix, you only get treble and bass controls. The manual states that these are low and high pass filters, and they are indeed that when you cut. But when you boost, the treble is a bell, maybe a shelf boost. And the bass is absolutely a shelf type of boost. These filters sound like this. They are pretty limited, of course. If you really want more control over the frequencies, set the Magma Springs up as auxiliary or send effect. Set it to fully wet and add an EQ plugin after. Springs is part of the Waves Magma family of plugins. You will drive into saturation. Now this applies to the spring reverb sound only, not on the original audio. With the spring impulses being so extremely colored, you can wonder how much of the original saturation sound is already embedded in these impulses and how much you can actually hear of this added saturation with the drive, other than a volume increase. Also, spring reverbs love a bit of attack to get that signature twang, so too much saturation seems counterproductive. What really stands out to me is the big difference between the 7 in regards of how well or how bad the spring sounds blend with the audio you feed into it. It's not like every one of the 7 springs matches every sound you put it on. Are you a musician looking to get your music onto popular streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music? Look no further than DistroKid. With its easy-to-use platform and affordable pricing, DistroKid makes it simple for artists to get your music out there. Plus you'll keep 100% of the royalties you earn from your streams. Why not give it a try and see for yourself why so many artists are choosing DistroKid to distribute your music. Sign up today and start sharing your music with the world when you get 7% off of your first year by using my link in the description below. Especially with the 50s and twang, I feel that any blend doesn't really work. The original sound and spring reverb sounds detached of each other, and the reverb sounds best fully wet. With the 5 others, the blend is a lot better. Finding the right spring sound for the audio you use is a bit of trial and error, but not difficult with springs, and having 7 good sounding, vibey variations will give you plenty of options. I do find that springs might be just a bit too restricted. I wouldn't mind more EQ control and syncable pre-delay. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the Spring Reverb plugin, which is displayed on screen and linked in the description below for an alternative.